Okay, so hopefully we've got a synth that's working, but you can also hear it's monophonic. Play one note, play a second note, it steals the first note. Okay, it's not the end of the world, but we'd like to have some kind of polyphony on here. And if you remember earlier, that's why we set up the note as an abstract, and also what this polyphony thing at the top of the My First Synth PD is doing for us as well. If things are glitching out and not playing when you expect them to, this is likely because, well, check that you've saved everything, and all, since the last time it was open, that can make a difference, but also parameters such as these sliders here, these default to 0 when you reopen the project. That's why I've put this load bang in at the top to try and help us, but also I can actually click on these in play mode just to make sure I've reset them myself. Okay, so the polyphony side of things. Now, if you remember from earlier, the whole point of the poly is that it actually adds a note number, and every time you play a note, it just cycles through the different note values. So here we can see note 1. I'm actually going to change this root 1 to be a root 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this will now output the notes when I hold them down, one after another. Now, it's not going to do anything yet. I'm not going to get a 2, 3, and 4 because the poly value is still set to 1. So I'm going to change this up here to a 4. And again, go back to the previous video, but you remember now it's going to output every fourth note will make its way to the output. So they're coming out of roots 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to patch each of the rest of them, the 2, 3, and 4, into new instances of the note abstract. So I bring in here another note, and let's save ourselves some time rather than typing, copy and paste and paste. And I now have 4 note polyphony possible. Note 1, we've already know is going into the first note. Root note 2 will go into here. Note 3 into here, and no prizes for guessing what happens on the next one. Okay, not using the other one out, that's 4 things that aren't values 1 to 4. Okay. I can now patch this into the output, and hopefully we should have a working polyphonic synth. Let's try that patch again. Save it. Not working. Well, think about it. All of these notes have got separate envelope controls, essentially, or parameters. Which means that they're all still set to their new values. They've just been instantiated. So if I now was to click on here, there we go, it's working. So I just use this bang to reset, to resend out that sustain value. And resend out the attack as well if I need to. And we have a polyphonic synth. So there's little things like that that troubleshooting in PD is something you just get used to. It's very often the fact that you've got a new version of something, you need to instantiate its values. So load bangs are a pretty useful thing to scatter around your projects to make sure when you create them, they're in the state that you really would hope they would be in. Okay, now let's take our synth, and of course, what's a synth without filters? Let's add one in the next few videos.